Hello and welcome to Chair Chat. I am Joyce Doris Coleman, Chairwoman of the Shelby County School Board of Education. Today I am with our General Counsel, Attorney Justin Bailey. We will talk about his role as the General Counsel for MSCS and his long-standing career as an attorney. Tell us about your role as the General Counsel and what all does that entail?
Sure. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to have served as the General Counsel and Chief Legal Officer for the district for the last almost year now. I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary in May.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. And in that role, I chiefly and primarily provide legal support to the district. That's both to the board and to the administration. I have a fantastic team who support me in that. So that's chiefly what we do and what I do as General Counsel. There are some other roles and hats that I wear, but my primary role is as Chief Legal Officer.
The board voted for your office to report directly to us, to the board. What additional areas report to the General Counsel's office?
Sure. So in addition to legal, there are several other offices that now report to the Office of General Counsel that include labor and employee rights, internal audit, the board office, policy and legislative affairs, risk management, and the Office of Economic Opportunity.
Can you share with our viewers what those different areas are responsible for?
Certainly. Labor and employee rights, that team does all of our labor relations with our teachers' unions, as well as employee grievances. Internal audit is just like it sounds. It ensures that we have the right financial controls in place to make sure that we're compliant with our financial obligations. The legal department, of course, provides legal advice and guidance to both the board and the administration. The board office provides administrative support to you all, the board members. Policy and legislative affairs, they monitor and help us to interpret all of everything that goes on in Nashville and in Washington with our legislative, as well as our board policy and rules and regulations. Risk management is just exactly as it sounds. They help us to assess risk and to implement best practices to mitigate and minimize risk across the district. In the Office of Economic Opportunity, they make sure that we are providing opportunities to small businesses and locally owned businesses as we move forward in our contracting and procurement services.
You got a lot of responsibility.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you work collaboratively with other departments such as academics, human resources, and operations to minimize legal risk and promote best practices?
Well, we do a lot of listening. We do a lot of meeting with our teams and the administration and really assessing what the ultimate goals are for our clients, which are our separate departments. We're in constant contact. We're in meetings all the time to figure out what their goals are, what their needs are, and then we help them to figure out how to meet those goals and needs in a way that's compliant with the law, with our own policies and rules and regulations, and providing general guidance and advice. A lot of times not even legal, but even sometimes just being thought partners with the different departments and bouncing ideas off one another on how to attack our strategic objectives.
Okay, very interesting. With new leadership for the district, how do you see yourself working closely with both the board and with interim superintendent Dr. Rod Richmond?
Well, being accessible, being available to everybody, listening to everybody, taking all points of view into consideration, and helping to move everybody forward in one common goal, and that's servicing our kids and the staff that support our children in this district. Dr. Richmond and I have been working closely together as he gets his administration up and running and trying to work through a thicket of, again, legal issues, but also non-legal issues with all the departments that report to the Office of General Counsel. So we just take a very team-oriented, collaborative approach, and that's with the board as well, with the board and with the interim superintendent, just to make sure, as much as we can, that everybody's on the same page, we're all pulling in the same direction for the same goal.
And that's a lot of work that you have to do, and we thank you for doing it.
It's my absolute pleasure.
It seems like you do it just effortlessly.
There's a lot of effort, I assure you. But you know, as you know, Chair, I spend a lot of the time on the phone with all of my board members and with the interim superintendent and staff, senior leaders, uh, you know, down to principals and staff, and providing whatever guidance and advice and providing any resources that we can to support the district.
Yeah, thank you. You have served as our general counsel during a very turbulent time for the school district. Your work with board members who often don't agree on a path forward, and you have to work with all of us to move the district forward. How do you navigate and help us move forward? And I know it's not easy. I'm going to say that.
It's a challenge at times, but I do really enjoy working collaboratively with my board members. You all have 9 different approaches to things, 9 different points of view, but it's all about finding the common ground, right? The common areas where I can bring you all together. And the details where there might not be agreement, we can work out later. But as long as we can hash out some areas where there is agreement, where we all are aligned, I try to focus on those areas and bringing everybody together. Keeping kids at the front of mind, which you know, I'm very confident saying all of us do. And when I say us, me and the board members. Just keeping in mind that we all want the same thing. We all want what's best for our kids. If we can start from that baseline, we can usually find some common ground that helps lead us in that direction.
Okay. You've worked in the private sector. How different is it from working for a school system, for our school system?
That's a good question. Our district has some unique challenges. We are the largest district in the state, and we're a large urban district. And education law has a very specific set of laws and rules and regulations, of which I'd never had any previous exposure until moving into this role. And not only is the environment or the client and the nature of the work different, but the role is very different for me. This is the first time I've ever been in the role as a general counsel. So everything from shifting gears into a management perspective of, again, not only lawyers, but auditors, risk management professionals. I mean, just, you know, everything you can, all kinds of backgrounds and professions that I now have the pleasure of managing. But to the original question, you know, when you're working in the private sector, the bottom line, and driving profits for the customer is kind of that's the goal, that's the mission. Here, it's a very different mission in that we're here to support and service our children education, which I don't know that there's a more important function of any organization in the community. So it's understanding that we are not a profit driven entity, but a service driven entity. And just making sure that things are aligned to make sure that we're maximizing that support to reach those goals.
Most people probably don't know that you come from a very prominent family in Memphis that is known for legal excellence. Your father is the late Judge De'Army Bailey, and your uncle is Attorney Walter Bailey. As a young attorney, do you feel a great deal of pressure to be successful with that type of legacy?
So, and let me point out something to you, Chair. I'm very proud of my father and my uncle, and I also have a couple of cousins that are lawyers as well, and another cousin who works as a clerk in the court system. But also my mother, who was the executive director of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Memphis for 20 years. And before that, worked at the Memphis Food Bank, and she worked at Rhodes College. So not only am I proud of the history and the legacy that my family brings to the legal profession, but to the service of kids and to public service. I'm very proud of that legacy that my family has forged. I don't really feel any pressure. My dad always encouraged me to kind of walk my own path and to, you know, march to the beat of my own drum. It just so happens that I made the choice to go to law school. But for a while, I wasn't even sure I was going to be a lawyer. And here I am, and I'm happy, and it's been a very rewarding profession. But I don't really feel any pressure. I just I try to strive to be the best Justin Bailey I know how to be, and you know, maybe hopefully one day I will have had the same kind of impact on our community or something approximating it as my family has.
For the last year that I've known you, you've made an impact.
Well, I appreciate that.
What are you most proud of since taking on the role of General Counsel for MSCS? And what goals are you setting for the year ahead?
I'm most proud, honestly, I'm most proud of my team. I really am proud of the work that my team has put in to support this district and to support me. I could not do this work without them. And they are tremendously valuable, not only to me personally, but to the district. And so I'm very proud of the work that we collectively have put in to support this district. And as far as goals for the next year, we want to continue to set the district on a path for success. Obviously want our interim superintendent to be successful as he's starting out in his administration and starting to forge his path and his vision for the district. And I want to just make sure that we continue to bring the board along and bring the board together as we collectively work towards this vision of greatness that I think we all know and believe that this district can achieve.
Yes, we
and again, I keep saying it, is just making sure that our kids are supported and that we're providing exemplary service and support for them. Because at the end of the day, that's why we all come to work.
That's the reason. Thank you. And my final question to you today. What is your advice to those who want to become an attorney?
It's not easy. Kids,
you make it look so
kids,
easy.
Do your homework, do your reading, be a good listener. People think that being a lawyer is about doing a lot of talking, but it's really about internalizing a lot of what you hear from your clients and really helping your clients to advance their goals. So being a good listener, being open to different ideas and being flexible, and being able to work with people. At the end of the day, we are a people-oriented business. And a large part of my job is interacting with you all, the board, as my clients, and the interim superintendent and the administration and senior leaders, and being able to advise them and be flexible in my thinking, being communicative. So, just being open to, and being open to opportunity. One thing I will say, 10, 15, 20 years ago when I started practicing law, I don't know that I ever would have envisioned myself sitting here in this seat. But I rarely said no to opportunity as they came along. So even though I may have one thought of what my career might look like, I never was afraid to take a chance on opportunities that came across that might not have been on my radar initially. So just being open to any opportunities that might come across, opportunities to learn and increase your skill set, are all, because the practice of law is so broad. Most people, when they think of lawyers, they think of litigators, right? Your courtroom lawyers. But the practice is so much broader than that. And there's such a world of opportunity out there for all kinds of legal professionals. So just be open, be flexible in your thinking.
Thank you, Attorney Bailey, for joining me here today. And thank you to our viewers for watching today's episode of Chair Chat.